Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen across our beautiful country of Canada, our friends around the world. Man, it is August 2nd, 2023, a day that will go down in history with the big breaking new announcement. Hi, everyone. Sophie and I would like to share the fact that after many meaningful and difficult conversations, we have made the decision to separate. As always, we remain a close family with deep love and respect for each other and for everything we have built and will continue to build. For the well-being of our children, we ask that you respect our and their privacy. Thank you!
In a statement released just moments ago, it's been announced Justin and Sophie Trudeau are separating after 18 years of marriage. The statement reads, Sophie and I would like to share the fact that after many meaningful and difficult conversations, we have made the decision to separate.
This comes as no surprise to me, because a couple of years ago I made a video on my other channel, JCV Dude YouTube, about the Trudeaus not getting along and why she was in London by herself. And Trudeau, it's not a secret, except the Canadian media doesn't think it should go and put a light on private affairs of people. Oh, affairs? There's another one that I talked about in videos that if you watch them, there's somebody that has traveled, a minister with Trudeau all over the place, and they do look like they're pretty close. But the media ignores that.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, are separating after 18 years of marriage. The couple made the announcement on their social media accounts. A formal press release was also sent from the PM's office, confirming that the pair have signed a legal separation agreement. The couple were married in Montreal on May 28, 2005, and have 3 children together. The statement goes on to say that both parents will remain a constant presence in their children's lives, and the Canadians should expect to still see the family together in public. Sophie Gregoire was raised in Montreal's town of Mount Royal and is a former television and radio reporter. The couple's relationship came under a public spotlight when Justin Trudeau was elected as Prime Minister in 2015.
Okay, that breaking news is quite old, and if you're wondering why it's 2 days old, I just get frustrated. I keep putting up videos, working on them, looking for information and stuff, and then they just disappear. Oh my God. Again, I had a bunch of videos disappear with no explanation. Do. You are about to enter the Twilight Zone, and you're going to be screwed. No, it's very frustrating. I have no idea. And the other frustrating thing is for me, I don't know if you've experienced this, is that there are no live people to talk to anymore. As artificial intelligence has taken over, there's a whole crap full of places. Basically, you're supposed to do the work yourself. Check this, check that, which I do. And it comes down to, you will never know where it went, why it went, what it went. But I do know that Canada is changing a lot with its censorship laws. As a matter of fact, just the other day it was...
Okay, guys, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is actually happening. So we know that Justin Trudeau's censorship bill C-18 passed in late June, and Meta and Google said that they would be banning the publication of news in Canada on their platforms. This is not a drill. This is actually happening. It is starting today as we speak. So this is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This is not known as to be like a bastion of conservative thought or whatever. This is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and it is reporting right now that Meta is ending news availability on its platforms in Canada starting today. It's starting now as we speak. It's rolling out. If you are in Canada, you are not going to be able to see news on Facebook, Google very shortly. It is starting. This is because of Justin Trudeau's censorship bill. This is crazy. This is on the CBC. It is true. It's happening. Here's what I need you to do. Share this video.
Just in case you don't know, that's Michelle Rempel, a Conservative member of Parliament, and she's quite outspoken. Censorship. You know, do you believe it in Canada we have censorship? But rightly so, because you know the Internet of Things, there's all kinds of disinformation and misinformation, and we don't know what the hell to believe because we are Canadians. So what we can do is tune into CBC. Oh man, they're a bastion of truth, and it's incredible. They're our broadcaster, but we also have a few private broadcasters working on our behalf to bring us real information and news. Oh man, that's just about enough to make somebody puke when you hear it. And yes, I do know there's people out there, actually probably a majority, who have a fog in their head and can't think for themselves, and they believe all the bullshit. And the ones that even don't believe it, they're not doing anything about it because they've been so demoralized. That's a big word for me to say. Demoralized, that we can't do anything. It's not going to change. We can't do... You know what we can do is vote Conservative, because Conservatives are so awesome. They got that leader now, and he's going to whoop Justin's ass really good. But the Conservatives, they're just a remake of the Liberal light. You know, I used to say when Harper was in that Liberals were Conservative light, that all we have is a revolving door politics, you know, it's between the Conservatives and the Liberals. One goes in, one goes out. Next time, one goes in, other one goes out. It's been the same crap. You know, it's kind of like slapping Canada in the face saying, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, well, you're a friggin' voting moron. Just my thought. Think about immigration in Canada. According to the government's own numbers, we're going to be getting more than 1,200 immigrants into Canada every single day for 3 years. More than 1,200 for 3 years. That pumps up the population by close to 1.5 million. And you know, we are very giving. We don't mind sharing what we have. The only goddamn problem with that is that we're sharing it with people in Ukraine, we're sharing it with people everywhere, while our own citizens are suffering. There's not a city, big, medium size, in Canada that doesn't have a drug and homeless problem. Oh, put that on the back burner. Yeah, that's not, you know, we're going to keep bringing people in. Our people, well, they can get screwed. And the fact is that the government hasn't slowed down the homelessness or drug use. In Vancouver, well, BC, it's close to 200 people a month who die from fentanyl overdose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We care about other countries, but not everyone is like that. In the US, Donald Trump cares about US.
Azt kell tehát mondanunk, hogy Európában ma létrejött egy saját politikai osztály, amely nem tartozik elszámolással, nincs többé se keresztény, se demokratikus meggyőződése, és azt kell mondanunk, hogy a föderalista kormányzás Európában egy elszámoltathatatlan birodalomhoz vezetett. Nincs más választásunk, hiába szeretjük Európát, hiába az a miénk, mégiscsak harcolnunk kell, álláspontunk világos, mi nem kívánjuk, hogy mindenkinek ugyanaz legyen a hite, nem kívánjunk, hogy ugyanolyan családi életet éljen, vagy részt vegyen ugyanazokon az ünnepeken, de ahhoz ragaszkodunk, hogy van közös otthonunk, van közös nyelvünk, van közös közszféránk, van közös kultúránk, és ez az alapja a magyarok biztonságának, szabadságának és jólétének, és ezért ezt minden áron meg kell védeni. Ezért nem fogunk kompromisszumot kötni, nem hátrálunk, Európában ragaszkodni fogunk a jogainkhoz, nem engedünk se a politikai, se a pénzügyi zsarolásnak. A taktikai időhöz, sőt a stratégiai időhöz tartozó kérdésekben lehet, de a történelmi időhöz tartozó kérdésekben sohasem lehet megalkudni.
Nationalism, what the hell is wrong with that? Well, we don't have that in Canada because we're very diverse. So we're like a Heinz 57. We can be anything and everything. Oh, look, there's a cat person. They identify as a cat. Oh, another one identifies as a bench. This whole crap, there's just no excusing it. That's why changing politicians isn't gonna solve the problem. Ideas have to change.
Megmondták, hogy Magyarországnak több 10 000 férőhelyet kell biztosítania migránsok befogadására. Ebből egy gettó lesz, egy menekülttábor, egy migráns gettó. Na most én harcolok ez ellen, kézzel, lábbal, foggal, körömmel, ahogyan csak lehet, és nem is áll szándékunkban végrehajtani ezeket a döntéseket.
Do you understand that? Europe is trying to force Hungary to have tens of thousands of spaces for immigrants, and he says no. Hungary is a small country. It is not rich in resources. It's not rich in a hell of a lot of things, but it does have pride. They stand up for it. That's not white supremacy. That's not any of that stuff. It's about loving the country you have and standing up for it, not letting it get destroyed. I mean, Christ, I've seen food lines that stretch for a block in Vancouver because people don't have food. And there are days, well, it's summer right now, June, July, August, but they'll be out here in November, December, January, huddled under wherever they can find shelter. And you see this around the Western world. Go to Paris, go to
folks,
England.
Eric Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. What would you say if I told you that by the year 2030, you'll own nothing, have no privacy, and yet you'll be happy? That you'll live in a cashless society where all currency is digital, and that everyone on Earth will require a digital ID to travel freely. And that, much like communist China, you'll be given a social credit score that determines how loyal you are to this new global system and those who control it. The end game is a one-world government. To many, this sounds like something straight out of George Orwell's 1984, but I believe an even better guidepost would be the Book of Revelation and the coming Antichrist-led system. Now, some very powerful global players, led by the World Economic Forum and with the enthusiastic backing of some Western leaders, major corporations, and the UN, are openly promoting this radical transformation of society. They call it the Great Reset. And folks, it's not a conspiracy or a theory when the people behind it are telling you out loud what they intend to do. I recently hosted a full special for TBN called What is the Great Reset?, which you can find right here on our channel under the category TBN Specials.
Először 2020-ban a Covid-dal. Ezt még valahogy kivédtük, és alára gyorsan visszatértünk arra az útra, amit kijelöltünk a magunk számára, és amelynek ívét 2030-ig látjuk. De 2022-ben jött egy újabb meteortámadás, ez a háború, és ez már keményebb dió.
So it was interesting how unmoored from the American orbit he is. And maybe that's just a function of geography. He is far away from America, and he has more pressing concerns locally. Ezra Levant for Rebel News. I am in Tusvenyos, which is a Hungarian ethnic festival in Romania, where there are many Hungarians, a minority. And one of the things we just heard at a panel discussion is how the minority is picked on, says the Hungarian bishop, by people in Romania, including sometimes by the government. It was quite a prickly criticism of Romania. And what was fascinating is that sitting next to the bishop the whole time was the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, who had a lot of jokes and barbs about Romania and its new leader. In fact, one of the jokes was Orban has been Prime Minister so long, this is his 20th counterpart on the Romanian side, and he wished him luck. It was pretty cheeky. He did have some olive branches for him too. I found it remarkable that the Prime Minister of Hungary would speak so passionately in defense of the Hungarian minority in Romania. He did seek to reach out to not only the leadership of Romania, but other neighboring countries. The title of the speech, which we were told in advance, was A Time for Peace. I assumed it was going to be about the Russia-Ukraine war. At least that's sort of a dominant media narrative. But that's not really the number one agenda for these folks here. I think the number one thing is they are ethnic Hungarians. They regard themselves as Hungarians, but they are not in Hungary. And the country that rules over them, Romania, they say, treats them abusively, at best turns a blind eye to anti-Hungarian bigotry. They called it Hungaryphobia, and at worst joins in. So I think these people here are interested in Hungarian nationalism and being defended by and remembered by Hungarian politicians. So they're very supportive of him. I'm from Canada. I follow English language media. I follow media from the United States and the UK. So Ukraine war is pumped at us all the time. And I think that I, therefore, was expecting that the whole world shared this obsession. And of course, they're quite concerned with the war, but it is not the number one thing on their mind. And we should remember that just because the United States, the UK, and a handful of other countries, their media are obsessed by it, there are other things afoot. And here, economic development was something Orban talked about longer than he talked about the war. The European Union meddling in Ukrainian affairs was something he talked about. Interestingly, he said that since the United Kingdom left the European Union through Brexit, that's made it tougher for countries like Hungary. I suppose having the British in the European Union helped tamp down some of the overreach, the imperial overreach of the EU. There's something he said that I thought was interesting. He referred to an essay that in the last 300 years there have been 16 transitions of power from one global leader to the next, one civilization to the next, one great power to the next, he said. And 12 out of those 16 transitions were violent, were done through war. Only 4 were done peacefully. And he said he's worried that the world is at that juncture again, and he's worried that it's hurtling towards war.